Okay, I didn't quit my job because I got rich. I quit because I realized I didn't need to keep grinding. I didn't win the lottery. I didn't have a viral moment. I don't have a six-figure business that or passive income in the background that was making me hundreds of $1,000s a year. um, but yeah, no, one shift did change everything though. So welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new, subscribe down below. Now that that's out of the way, this is going to be the story how I went from college to a 9-to-5 cubicle to something that's called Coast Fire. Which is basically where I just don't have to stress about saving for retirement anymore. And honestly, the crazy part is I didn't even realize I was really like what I was doing at the time. So yeah, in college, I basically did what everybody does. I picked a major, I got decent grades, and I hoped it would lead me to a good job. Even though nobody really explains like what does that really mean. But we kind of all agree, right? That it's a stable, safe job with a salary and benefits. So yeah, I just kind of followed that like plan that was like laid out before us. I graduated and I got a job. That's what society says we have to do, right? Okay, well, I got the job. I had my nice little, tiny little cubicle. And at first, I kind of felt like I had made it. You know, I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting a paycheck, a bi-weekly paycheck. There, I have this routine. I'm now adulting. Like, this is what we strive for, guys. This is what we're striving for. But yeah, after a while, it just kind of like seemed off. Like, it wasn't terrible. Like, don't get me wrong. But it just wasn't exciting. It was just very predictable, I would say. And then I kind of started falling into the, okay, what's next? Like, this is it for the next 30, 40 plus years, potentially? And that's the question that stuck with me. But yeah, I didn't like wake up one day thinking, I want to retire early. Honestly, that thought did not cross my mind at the time. Like, it started at much smaller. I just didn't want to feel trapped anymore. I think it boils down to that. Who likes to feel trapped? So I just kind of did a few like simple things. I started saving more money than I spent. I started investing consistently. I made sure to get that 401k match because that's 100% return on investment. So I was making sure that I signed up immediately when I became eligible. And then I just kind of stopped chasing every upgrade or every lifestyle trend. I stopped competing with others. I made that video already. I'll put it up on the as a card somewhere if you guys are interested in that. But it wasn't anything extreme, but over time it does add up. So then I want to say I think it was like during or like right after COVID. Like the pandemic, like the global pandemic, if you will. I came across the concept of like Coast Fire. And okay, well, like, let me go back actually. What is Coast Fire? I guess is probably what some people are probably asking. And basically the concept is that if you invest enough early on in life, that your money will grow like on its own for your retirement. So that you don't have to keep saving any additional money, which means you don't have to like save aggressively in the future to kind of try to catch up. So yeah, basically instead of grinding forever, you just hit that number and then you coast into retirement and let the money do what compounding interest allows it to do. So yeah, basically work becomes optional, the pressure drops, and freedom basically just kind of increases. So yeah, that's just kind of what ended up happening. And then one day it kind of just like hit me out of nowhere. And I realized that if I just leave my investments alone, like they're going to most likely grow into what I'll need later. And by most likely, I mean, I was a person that was like one more year syndrome. And you hear that a lot, like, you know, in the fire community of like people who are in like their 50s who are like, one more year, one more year because they're just not quite certain if they should pull the trigger and like exit the workforce. But I had the more year syndrome, as in, I mean, yeah, that's the average return on investing, but let me just make sure that I save enough. Let me get a couple extra jobs and put a brokerage. And then let me also make sure that if I want to retire early, I have a bridge account because retirement accounts you can't touch till you're 59 and a half. So I need to make sure I have enough to get myself until I'm 59 and a half, which is very far off. But yeah, basically it just means that like I don't have to keep chasing more money just for the sake of, well, one day in the future I'm going to need this potentially, and not having to continually chase that down. That changed everything. But yeah, I didn't suddenly become rich. I just became intentional. I stopped trying to impress people. I didn't need the newest thing. I stopped tying my worth to income. And instead I focused on flexibility, experiences, and honestly, my peace of mind. And life kind of started feeling a lot lighter after that. Because let's just be real. No one wants to feel stuck. No one wants to trade all of their time for money. We all want some options in our lives. And honestly, that's what this path has given me. So yeah, no, I'm not a financial advisor. No, I do not have like work in that field. Like, yes, I majored in economics, when I was in college. Like math and econ have always been my thing. But yeah, I did escape my cubicle, but it didn't take a crazy success story. It was just all these tiny decisions that I made consistently until that day that I realized that I don't have to play the game the same way anymore. So if you're sitting in a cubicle right now and wondering if there's another way, there is. And it honestly might be closer than you think. So maybe look into that. But if you ever questioned the work until retirement plan, I want you to know where you're at in your journey and that there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to plan for it. Anyways, if you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.